She was an embedded reporter, okay, in the invasion of Iraq from the United States. She has gone to Kosovo to witness the atrocities of the war in Kosovo. She is a war reporter as a woman, and now a green card holder here in the United States, correct?
Well, yes, more or less.
More or less. All right, so why don't you tell us your story? Okay, you've been working in America since 1999. What kind of visa did you come here on?
I came with an I visa that is for foreign media. It allows you to work here for a foreign company. I still not perceiving any money from an American company. My income comes from Spain.
Correct. So when you're a foreign reporter, you get an I visa and you work here as long as you're being employed by a foreign company in Spain. So you've been living here since 1999. Here I saw you met Hillary Clinton. You interviewed her. Yeah. So what made you end up every 5 years you were renewing your I visa? Tell us a little bit about your career and then how you ended up getting your green card.
Well, the I visa is also a multiple entries visa because as a journalist, we come and go very often in and outside of the country. And I have a colleague and a close friend that one time that she was actually coming from vacation from the Eastern Island in Chile, she had a stopover in Miami. And when they stopped her in immigration in Miami and they started questioning what kind of visa she had and how long she had been living here.
And this was another journalist also on an I visa.
That is correct.
Right.
A journalist from Spain that happens to be also a close friend.
Uh-huh. So what happened to her at the airport?
Well, they started questioning her visa and they said that her visa doesn't allow her to live here, that it only allows her to come for a few days, cover a story, and leave.
Right.
Which is not true. It's most of us, we get the visa for 5 years, and we live here, and we're constantly going to the White House, the State Department. Everybody knows what is our situation. This is the correct visa. But
what you're describing is, unfortunately, and I hear this story all the time as an immigration attorney, okay, is you are beholden to an immigration officer at the airport. You're beholden to, did he have too much coffee, too little coffee? There are no constitutional rights when you come in at the airport until you actually come through the border. The Constitution only starts after they let you in.
Exactly. I remember seeing a sign in the border between Seattle and Vancouver. And it was, your right to stop here.
Correct.
It was shocking.
Correct.
But you don't have any rights at the airport. And you are completely at the mercy of the immigration officer.
So then I guess when all of this happens and you heard these stories, you decided to get your green card. You went, I assume, you went as an EB1, somebody of extraordinary ability?
That is right. That's the kind of visa that the kind of green card that I have received.
So now you have a green card and you're living here in the United States. What do you think about what's going on right now with all of the Trump and the Republicans wanting to kick out immigrants, wanting to kick out Latinas? You are Hispanic, you are a woman, you have extraordinary ability. What do you think about all of this?
Well, I think, Brad, that you were quite right. It's something we know about Donald Trump is that he's completely unpredictable. He's using the Dreamers as a bargaining chip. And I don't think his intention is to deport all these kids, but many are already on their way out. And it's going to depend on what is coming out. It's very unfortunate to use real people and destroying lives as a bargaining chip for something else you want to do. You can't predict what Trump is going to do.
You can't predict what he's going to do. And I think they're not going to come to, my 2 cents is, what is my 2 cents worth? 2 cents, I guess. My 2 cents is that they're not going to come to an immigration deal. Trump is going to start to kick out Dreamers. And then the Democrats are going to be under pressure from their base to pass a bill for Dreamers and give Trump exactly what he wants. That's my 2 cents on what's going to eventually happen. So why I always say to everybody out there, take care of your immigration situation now, because we don't know after the deal happens what, you know, people's immigration, what they're going to be able to do, what you're going to be able to file, and what's going to happen to everybody. So
I think that's a very wise advice.
Yeah.
This is what I tell everybody, that things are, I don't think things are going to get better here. It's going to be harder. And you can see every time there is a terrorist attack, depending on what's the situation of the accused terrorist,
Correct.
that kind of visa gets to end.
Correct. It's amazing here in the United States that if it's a foreigner who shoots people, is a, you know, it's terrorist, which obviously he should be called or she should be called, and we have a big problem with immigration. But if it's an American who shoots people, well, you can't control that, unfortunately, and we can't do anything, and guns get in the hands of wrong people. It's amazing what happens depending on who the actual shooter is and how they label him, especially the Republicans and Trump or her.
It's a very different treatment. If
Yes.
you don't call terrorists if they're born in the U.S.
Correct. Even though they are. You know, the person who killed more people than anybody was the guy in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
He's a terrorist. He killed 50 people.
And when Trump talks about him, he's unfortunately somebody that have a lot of problems.
Yeah. So you've been around the world. Okay, I'm reading here Mexico. We've seen pictures. Mexico, Afghanistan, Iraq. You've been embedded with the Marines in Iraq, Haiti, Cuba, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, all of the countries that Trump called S-holes, and then even more. Okay, what do you have to say about traveling around the world? What do you see in terms of the commonality of everybody? Obviously, they're not S-holes.
No, and actually, I think we are all personally focused on becoming happy people. And this is what I see all around the world, that the happier the people is, and the less stressed out they are, the nicer they are. And in many of those shitholes places, they're nicer people. You go to Haiti, and they couldn't be nicer, despite living in the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere. And so I think in the Western countries, we have to control our levels of stress to be happy and to learn from those undeveloped countries.
You know, I read something in your pre-interview that I thought was very interesting, which we don't say enough on our show. And you said this in your pre-interview to Jill, which I read, which is that what everybody is the son or daughter of an immigrant at some point. Even Donald Trump, you mentioned, came from Scottish background. His grandparents or great-grandparents immigrated here. My great-grandparents immigrated here. It takes a lot to immigrate to America, to give up everything that you have in another country, come here with nothing, be treated as a second-class citizen, and then try to make a living. Aren't those people we really want, the hardest working people from around the world who want to give up everything and come here and try to make it?
By definition, they come here to work hard and to pursue a better life. So by definition, this is hardworking people, is the kind of people we should want in our society.
All right, so you're an award-winning journalist. You've been all over the world. You have chosen to live here in America. You've won multiple awards. You got your green card through extraordinary ability. What's your American dream?
My American dream is to have freedom to pursue whatever project I want. And I mean, labor freedom. I think when I came to this country, the job market was so hot that I was constantly having calls asking, well, we need a producer here at CNN. Don't you know anybody? But you don't hear that anymore. There is not that many jobs going around, and people become a slave for their job because they want to keep health insurance. I think the toughest thing when you get a green card on extraordinary abilities, you need to reach out to a lot of people to have them say that you're wonderful and you're extraordinary, That's very humbling to have to go to these people and say, well, do you want to write me a letter saying how wonderful I am?
Okay.
And by the way, everybody has to do that in some respect. So if you're getting sponsored by a family member, it's humbling to go ask somebody for an affidavit of support. Give me your tax return so you can show you can support me. Or you have to go to another friend or family member to do that. Or if you're getting sponsored in a job, you have to ask your employer to sponsor you and fill out forms and give your tax returns, or ask former employers for prior references of experience. So I'm glad that you brought up that issue, because we don't bring that issue up enough. Sure. How humbling it is to go to other people and ask for their support.
I choose to keep the experiences where I learn from the people. And as you can see, I've been in many countries, but I was the one that I treasure the most is Haiti. They're really they have such a strong spirit despite all that they go through, and they can be so sweet that you can't imagine somebody that is going through the toughest things you can ever imagine: apocalyptic earthquakes, piles of dead people around you all over. And they hold no resentment toward life or toward others. And that was such a learning experience for me that I keep it close to my heart.
Because you're a journalist, right, Mercedes?
Correct.
And I get so fed up over Trump with this fake news stuff, okay? Because, there's a big difference between fake news, which you see sometimes on social media, and then legitimate news people who, for the most part, get things right, but everybody is human. Sometimes people get something wrong. It doesn't mean it's fake and they're, putting out stuff that purposely is not true. But we have a couple of things here that we found on social media, if you want to play along with us here very quickly. Okay? And we're going to play fake news or not fake news. Okay? Right. So first fake news story, because we always find these news stories we always start our show with. Okay? I don't even know the answers to this because it's been covered up. I'm going to play as well. Okay? Was Trump booed at the World Economic Forum in Davos for taking a swipe at nasty fake press? Fake news? Yes, he was. Fake. He was? Was he? True. Oh, I see. True. It is very true. Did a Saudi prince offer 200 camels to the Trump family to spend a night with Ivanka Trump? Kind of like Robert Redford asking $1 million to sleep with Demi Moore. Is that true or not true? 200 camels to spend the night with Ivanka Trump.
I don't think so.
That is absolutely false, but it is going around the internet. That is false news. Number three. Did an elderly woman train her cats, 65 of them, to steal from her neighbors and get arrested? True or not true? Old woman trains cats to steal stuff from her neighbors and she got arrested for theft.
I don't know that one. That seems like a very local story, but I would say baloney.
It is absolutely false, but it is also going around. You can't get arrested because your cat stole something from your neighbor. That's ridiculous. All right. In Georgia, okay, did amateur divers on the off the coast of Georgia find a long-lost nuclear warhead? True or false? They say that a tourist from Canada made a surprising discovery while scuba diving. They found a nuclear warhead that was undetonated from the United States Air Force from 50 years ago. And there is the picture that is going around the internet. You say false. It is false. That is absolutely not true. There's no diver that found a nuclear warhead.
Yeah, I know why I know it's false, because I wouldn't know if that was true.
Okay. All right. So we have a couple more left. Did the NFL reject a veterans group ad for the Super Bowl? They denied advertising space to veterans groups that declined to alter the language about standing for the national anthem. That they were protesting the players not standing for the national anthem. Is that true or false? An NFL spokesman, Brian McCarthy, said that the advertisement last week by the third-party publisher of the game said please stand. That was the entire message of the ad. It was just 30 seconds, said, please stand, Veterans Group, for the national anthem. Was that advertisement rejected by the NFL? True or false?
Don't know. I do say false.
It is true. They absolutely rejected that ad. What was that? I don't know. All right, last one. We got to go, Mercedes. All right, last one. A 15-ton prehistoric shark was captured off the coast of Pakistan. A giant prehistoric shark, previously thought to be extinct for more than 20 million years, was captured off of the coast of Pakistan. True or false? Do we have a picture of this prehistoric shark?
I would say false.
Yeah, that's an easy one. False. That's false. All right. There is the picture of the shark. That is absolutely not true. I don't know. That's what the story said. All right. Mercedes, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your American dream. Extraordinary ability from Spain, has traveled the world, an award-winning journalist.
Thank you guys for helping other people to get it right. That's very important, to have an advice from professionals like you.